Good morning and welcome to Unit 8. Today we're going to read the can-do objectives, things that you're going to be able to do by the end of this unit. You can describe sleeping habits and routines. You will be able to talk about lifestyles and life expectancy, negotiate, and write a promotional material. Okay, so the topic is body and health. These are your getting started questions. How old do you think the woman in the photo is? Why do you think the woman's decided to do this activity? Is it the first time? Will it be the last? What do you think the relationship between her and the man is? What do you think he's saying to her? What other activities might this woman and her peers enjoy? Make a list. And do you think it's more or less important to do physical activity as you get older, and why? Okay, you're going to answer all those questions and send your answers by looking and analyzing this picture right here. On page 92, we've got 8A. It's no use trying to go to sleep. Okay, that's the title of 8A. On speaking and reading, do you know the answers to these questions? If not, what do you think they are? Like, why do animals, including humans, let me get that a little bit closer, need sleep? What percentage of their life does the average person spend asleep? How long is it possible to go without sleep? How many hours a night should adults sleep? What about newborn babies? Okay, so again, this is very important. You write down the answers to these questions. On letter B, it says, listen to radio interview and check your answers. Now, the first part, you're just going to guess your answers, so they're probably going to be very short ones. On letter B, you're going to continue the answers according to the radio interview you're going to listen to.
Track 3.45. We all sleep at night, but it's surprising how little most people know about sleep. We talked to sleep researcher Jonathan Wilson to find out what science has to tell us about sleep. Jonathan, first of all animals, including humans, need sleep, but why do we need it?
Well, that's a surprisingly difficult question to answer. The simple answer is, we don't really know. But there are several theories about it. One is that it helps us to conserve our energy during the period when it's least useful to search for food. And another is that sleep provides a time when the body can repair and restore itself. And it seems this is especially important for the brain. One thing we know for sure is that we do need to sleep. Most people sleep for about 8 hours, which means we sleep for 1/3 of our lives. So on average, that's 25 years spent asleep. The other thing we know is you can't go for too long without sleep. It simply isn't possible. The longest recorded time that anyone has stayed awake continuously is 11 days.
So what's the ideal length of time to sleep? Is it 8 hours?
Not necessarily. Again, we don't know for sure, but research suggests that people who sleep 6.5 to 7.5 hours live the longest. So it seems the popular idea that we need 8 hours sleep isn't really true, and many people can easily get by on only 6 hours a night. Babies need most sleep, of course, about 16 to 20 hours a day for newborn babies, and that gradually decreases as they get older.
Okay, you can go back and listen to it again and check that these are your suggested answers. As you can see, babies are the ones that sleep the longest. Moving on, look at these headings for 4 tips for people who have problems getting to sleep. What do you think each tip involves? Okay, you're going to match these tips with this article right here. Okay, so you're going to read it and you're going to match them. Read the article and match the headings with tips A through D. Do you think the tips will work for you? Okay, after you do that, check that these are your correct answers. Okay, now we're going to start the grammar section with gerunds and infinitives. Look at the highlighted phrases in the article. Which phrases are followed by to plus infinitive, like too much, infinitive without to, and gerund, like verb plus ing. Okay, so we look at the article and we're going to find out that it's time, and the best way would be for letter A. May as well get better would be for letter B, and C, it's no use or there's no point in. Okay, so these would be your answers according to what we find in the article on the highlighted. Then look at examples 1 through 4 and match the verb forms in bold with A through D. Okay, enjoy being soothed. Now soothed is something like being relaxed. To sleep by music. It is easy to be distracted by background noises. Go to work tomorrow without having had 8 hours sleep and be pleasantly surprised to have slept all night long. Okay, so you're going to find out which one is the passive plus infinitive, perfect plus infinitive, passive gerund, or perfect gerund. And these would be your answers. Okay, so according to letter A, we got our answer number 2. And we got 2 right here, and the passive and infinitive. The passive infinitive has this structure. It has the verb to be, and it has a verb in the past participle. So this would be the passive infinitive right here. So this is the structure that corresponds to letter A, number 2. On letter B, 2 plus perfect infinitive would be this one, because this one has 2 and the infinitive. How do you know this is the infinitive? Well, we have a combination of have or has plus the verb in the past participle. This is the structure for perfect infinitive. And then we go to the passive gerund, and that answer would correspond to number 1, being sued. Okay, it's the verb to be plus ing and the past participle of the action verb. Okay, so, well, no, not the action verb. Soothe is actually, well, what the person is experiencing, and it's also in the past participle. So enjoy being soothed corresponds to the first one. That's the passive gerund. The perfect gerund would correspond to number 3. Go to work tomorrow without having had. Okay, now as you can see, on the passive gerund, the verb to be is what you're working with. Okay, and you only add ing and the past participle. But when you're working with the perfect, it's the verb have plus ing and the past participle of the verb. Okay, so that would be the structure. So look at it very closely so you can understand the difference. Passive infinitive and passive gerund use the verb to be. Okay, and perfect infinitive and perfect gerund uses have. Okay, now the difference between this one and this one is that, well, first of all, you are using, on the 2, you're using infinitives, and on the gerunds, you're using ing. Okay? So if you need to understand that, you can go back and listen to it. Now look at these examples. What, if anything, is the difference in meaning between each pair? Okay? So you go here and check the difference. Okay? You can scroll down and you can look at the difference that I'll explain in a moment. Okay? So see you next lesson, guys. Thank you. See you soon.